One of Ukraine's deputy prime ministers is waging his own pressure campaign against Russia by using technology and social media. He's been tweeting at some of the world's most powerful tech companies to rally support to end Russian propaganda and cut off the country from the rest of the world. Last month, he wrote a letter to Apple, Google, and Netflix asking them to stop doing business there. A week later, Apple stopped selling new iPhones and other products in Russia. A day later, he tweeted to Elon Musk asking for help in obtaining Starlink satellite internet systems that Musk's company makes. 2 days later, a shipment of Starlink satellites reached Ukraine. Joining us now, Alex Borniakov. He's the Deputy Minister of Digital Transformation for IT Development for Ukraine. And thank you very much for being on with us. And what are the challenges here? I mean, to be able to keep Ukrainians connected to the rest of the world and able to communicate must be challenge one.
Yeah, this is one of the major problems is now to keep communication structure of Ukraine stable, and people have to know what's going on. They have to be aware of air attacks, safe routes, humanitarian corridors, and other measures that government is taking. So we're doing our best to keep infrastructure, digital infrastructure safe and sound. And we're doing pretty good in the places where there is no war zone. The communication is stable and is good, and we supply more and more Starlinks to difficult zones of Ukraine where there is a high probability of war actions, or there's already war actions there. So they will keep connected and communicate.
Don't the Starlinks, while they provide much-needed ability to communicate, don't they also hand Russia information about where there are clusters of people or even the military if they have the Starlink operating?
Well, I wouldn't say so because, how Starlink is operating is just a satellite which getting internet from the satellite and distributing through small Wi-Fi. So as far as I know, they still didn't figure out how to detect it. So that's one of their positive things. So they can jam it or block it. So far we didn't have any evidences that they somehow targeting places where Starlinks are.
And what social media platforms are Ukrainians using to communicate, or still available in Ukraine?
Well, in Ukraine, all of the social platforms are working. Ukrainian preferences, a major platform is Facebook. Only few people use Twitter. In fact, I know how Twitter is popular in the West, but in Ukraine, it's not so popular. Instagram is very popular among younger generation. TikTok, Snapchat is not. So just few people use Snapchat in Ukraine, but all of them are available, and people just choose their preferences, whatever they want to use.
So, Alex, we were just discussing the pressure campaign that you and others have put on some of these tech giants to stop dealing with Russia. We've mentioned Elon Musk, mentioned Apple. Who are some of your next targets? Who else do you want to see stop working across the border in Russia?
Well, we're trying to put pressure on as much companies as we can. Because we believe that aggressor must feel all kinds of consequences for these war crimes. So we're in touch with companies from various fields, from cybersecurity to game development, communications, design, and everyone who's ready to impose sanctions on Russia. Well, their next big step that we think about, and Mikhail Fedorov already tweeted about this, is to suspend service of Google Play and Apple Store to Russian customers, because we believe that is going to be a severe measure to limit them. They don't have their ability to substitute it with anything. So this is going to definitely help to finally realize regular Russian people what they support. If they support government, it's going to bring more and more death to Ukraine's and more harm to Russian economy.
Alex Bornyakov, thank you so much for being on. He is Ukraine's Deputy Minister of Digital Transformation for IT Development. We appreciate your coming on this morning and speak.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.